Hello, I'm back, and he's here too. Introduce
Hiyo.
yourself.
I'm Ben, also known as Disco, and I have no idea what's going on. Oh,
There you are. What's going on?
you tell me.
Riku!
Hey, cut it out.
I'm not dreaming this time.
Yeah, so
Right?
that's one of the
I
one of the
hope not.
kids that was on the island and then
forever to find
disappeared. So we've been looking for him through the game.
Riku!
Okay.
And one thing I have to point out about the animation is
Wait
that
a
he keeps
second,
switching to
where's
like
Kylie?
low
Isn't she
poly
with you?
version where the characters' faces are just
Well, don't worry.
like textures,
Swapping
and then
I'm
textures.
sure she made
Yeah.
it to the island too.
it keeps switch. Yeah,
We're finally
you can
free.
see it. Vicky keeps switching from
Hey,
like
she might
eye
be
version, his
looking for
face is
us
fully
now.
animated, and then Paul poly, which is only his
We'll all be
mouth.
together again soon.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry.
And it keeps switching back and forth, and they
Just
do it in
leave
some other
everything
scenes
to
as
me.
well. It drives me
I know
crazy. Like, why not just go with the high poly one for these cutscenes entirely?
Leave it
Yeah.
to who?
It's kind of like how in
Sora,
later ports
did
of
you-
Sonic Adventure 2 they
I've
had a
been looking for
hyperly
you,
model
and
but only
Kylie
used it
too,
in 2
with their
cutscenes.
Who are they?
We visited so many places and worlds looking for you.
Really? Well, what do you know?
Oh,
I
the
never would've
texture
guessed.
swapping faces just reminds me of the facial animation from Facade.
Oh god, it does actually.
What's
It
that mean?
literally is.
So this is called a Keyblade?
Huh? Hey, give it back.
Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen.
Catch.
Yeah,
Whoa,
Clumsy McGee.
basically.
okay. So you're coming with us,
And
huh?
he is going to be the hero for the
We've got
entire
this
journey, so
awesome rocket.
fun times.
Wait till you see it.
Now would be probably a good time to clarify that I've not
What?
seen any of the other parts of this
Oh, come
walk
on. He's my friend.
through or the Kingdom Hearts, so when I say I've literally no idea what's going on,
he's
I mean it
gone.
in all honesty.
Well, that's perfect.
Riku?
Well, don't worry, there's not much you need to know. You just need to know
Nice
that
going.
we were on an island and
well.
want to explore worlds, but then
he's
darkness
okay.
came and destroyed everything.
And who knows?
And I have to go about and
Maybe
fight
we'll run into
darkness
Kairi
in
soon,
other
too.
worlds with Donald and Goofy, who are completely useless in combat. You'll see later. You'll see, don't worry. I know, here's some Final Fantasy characters.
Oh.
So that's Leon from Final Fantasy VIII, I believe. And this girl, I
Oh,
don't know,
I
but she's
recognize
from
her.
yeah, she's from Final Fantasy VII, and I think also Final Fantasy VII. Yuffie, I believe. I think Sid is also from Final Fantasy VII. The one with Cloud as the main protagonist.
Yeah, and I know which one that is. Ooh.
And now we're talking about plot.
See.
And yeah, so basically the reason why they're here in Traverse Town is because their world was destroyed, along with anyone else whose world was destroyed. Because Traverse Town is like kind of like the hub for people who are stranded from there.
See.
And Ansem, they mentioned before that it has various reports about the Heartless and such, but the reports are all missing. And that's a thing we can actually collect in the game, but I'll showcase them once I got all the pieces of them. Since there are multiple reports, you get each piece of them as you progress through the game.
Ah.
You see, it's just as I told you. While you toiled away trying to find your dear friend, he quite simply replaced you with some new companion.
Also, a friend might be evil because she's working with the Maleficent.
Now
Ah.
he values them far more than he does you. You're better off without that wretched boy. Now think no more of him and come with me. I'll help you find what you're searching for.
And I think they actually switched to the high poly version of the models theirs too. Just for that
Yeah, they
scene.
did.
Again, I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, hang on, when... Let me check something.
I think it was released in 2002, that's
Let
what
me
you're
get-
wondering.
Well, no, I mean the console.
Ah. This was for the PS2, I believe. Originally, the one
Okay.
running
Because, yeah, it should have been able to handle it.
I don't know. I mean, the first Kingdom Hearts kind of like a janky piece of hardware since it was the first game and it was a highly experimental game.
Yeah,
And they
I
do
guess.
improve a lot of the features as the game goes on.
Hmm.
It is fun, but it's highly janky and has a lot of unpolished parts.
Ah.
Anyway, I'm just showing off Simba again, and because I got a stun pack skill, it's a combo finisher that allows you to stun enemies. It's really good because stun enemies can be stunned for an extended amount of time if you're not attacking them. Like it can be stunned for several minutes if you don't attack them, so you can focus on other enemies that are more urgent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right now we're going to get... I'm not sure if this is something essential, but in the Gizmo shop you can actually basically activate these platforms by casting an electric spell on an electric switch in the third district, which you probably have no idea about. But basically, I think I'm doing this to progress with the game's plot and get to here and ignore these. These are just another auto battle I skipped. Anyway, so here are something we couldn't do before. There were blocks in the way, but now they're gone. And that's a red Trinity. Trinity stuff allows you to do stuff to get access to new areas or certain treasures.
Ah.
And we'll be getting them as we go through the world. Right now we can only use blue Trinities and red Trinities.
Okay.
I think it's kind of like a cool effect, but whatever. You have to ring the spell 3 times to unlock the very important keyhole, which is necessary to prevent this world from being destroyed by darkness. Which for some reason the Final Fantasy characters did not decide to tell us until we after went visiting a world already and the Keyblade locked it automatically for us. Like we had a scene where he basically told us about the Keyblade and everything, but they didn't tell us that we had to go to the worlds and seal the keyholes or whatever until we did so before, which is kind of weird.
Oh.
It's kind of feel like the thing about to explain the first thing. Anyway, here's the God armor. We fought him before. However, this time it's going to be a bit different after we take some time to beat him up.
Jesus.
Yeah, so in a moment, things... There we go. Now things will change.
That was not my final form.
What if my hands were my feet and my feet were my hands?
Should not have drunk at that point. Wow.
Anyway, so here we stay. Hold on, let me get my... Oh, why is it not... It's the opposite armor, because clever names are very hard to come up with. It's a bit of a stronger version of the God armor, and at this point, I theoretically could have taken him down, but I had a bit of a bad luck, as you see in a moment.
Thunder!
And since...
Oh.
A funny thing, Donald was just about to heal me right then when I died, so that was wonderful. So I went ahead and get some levels, and my real goal was to get 1 point of defense, which may not sound a lot, but how stats work is that it's all very low value, so we have only less than 30 points of health, so 1 point of defense makes a big difference actually. That was enough for me to be able to take down the boss.
Okay.
And Donald's already dead, because of course he is.
Well done.
Donald's supposed to be the magic character, so he has very poor physical defense and attacks, but he's very good spells. Problem is, you can only use so many spells before he runs out of mana, and therefore he's useless for the rest of the game.
Out of curiosity, did Goofy and Daffy's AI get
Daffy?
much better in later games?
It's not Daffy, it's Donald.
Donald, sorry. Yeah.
I mean, Daffy would maybe be better party character, but this is Disney, not Warner Brothers. Anyway, what you were saying again?
Does Goofy and Donald's AI get improved in later games?
Yes, they get much better later on, and you can actually manage your tactics a bit better, so you can prioritize them to heal you more than other characters. Right now our tactics options are a bit limited, so Donald may heal people, but he will also most likely prioritize healing other characters since they lose health like a motherfucker. And yeah, you notice that Goofy's also down now.
Yes.
So, in all honesty, in general, you want to prioritize looking after Sora and making sure he gets everything important, and just leave Donald Goofy with absolutely nothing. Although Partimus will come back after a while, but not for a long while. And just wait to see how long it takes for Donald to get down. Goofy's actually pretty good at surviving some points since a shield can actually deflect attacks, but otherwise he'll actually not go around pretty easily in a few attacks. And yeah, Donald's already down again.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, I didn't point it out every time because it happens too many times. Yeah, anyway, so the boss is same as before, take down various parts of his body and it will become easier. It's hardest when he has most body parts on them. Yeah, that was not a good dodge, but we can tank it with a lot of the defense we have now. And fortunately, if you destroy a body part, it will drop HP orbs and allows us to recover health without having to spend mana. But we do actually get mana as we hit enemies in this game, so even if we do run our mana, we can still get it back if we keep lingering for long enough. We also got the ability Scan, which allows us to see enemies' HP, which is essential for a boss fight like these, which has different entities, so we can tell how much HP they have. Now it's only the head and the body left, which is its own entity, but the problem is, it will now fly all across the battlefield, so we're gonna have to basically go all over the place to chase after it because it keeps flying all over the place, so that's gonna be wonderful.
Oh.
And there's Donald, and he's not doing much of anything. Someone dodged that!
He's just going for a wander. Oh wow.
I am still amazed he dodged that first bolt, but then the second one just didn't win.
That's it's kind of going for a normal Sunday walk and then just get blasted in the face.
Yep. Anyway, now the boss is down, and we can finally be finished with Traverse Town and lock the keyhole. And we got the power of the wind. It allows us to cast area, which raises our defense for a small period of time. Gee, that would have been useful if we had it before having to grind. Yeah, in some cutscenes, the Keyblade will actually...
That's not how your key works.
Well, it's how the Keyblade works. And also, why it looks different from the original cutscene with Riku is because you can actually change the look of it by attaching keychains. But for some reason, it didn't change during Riku's cutscenes, for some reason.
Oh, right. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Because it does actually keep its look in many other cutscenes, especially in the later games. But oh well. Anywho, so Sid is now starting a gummy ship business, which allows us to customize the gummy ship further by buying new parts for it. And I'll also be showing off the gummy ship customizer and how wonky it is. After we take a... Also because I think we fought with the boss, we found another Navi-G piece, which allows us to visit new worlds, but because it's just one of the pieces, we can't do it so yet, we need more pieces.
It really agitates me just how offset that glove pointer was.
Yeah. Anyway, so Calm level 2 allows us to improve the gummy ship. The spray is basically used a color customizer, allows us to choose gummy block colors. And then I spent some time just trying to look for good pieces to buy to improve the gummy ship since I needed a new one. The current one we have it's not really that good, and at this point you want to build your own one to handle the rest of the worlds. So at this point I did a kind of mistake. I bought a bunch of Farages, which are like rocket engines, and not the actual guns I wanted to buy, which were Thunder. Oh. So I ended up buying more fire engines than I could actually put on the gummy ship at this point. and only one extra gun, which was what I wanted. But it will be fine for our purpose. The green ones are gummy ship blueprints we can unlock that through collecting them in gummy ship missions. And here is the gummy ship customizer.
Oh.
Just look at the screen and tell me if anything is clear about how you're supposed to do anything. If it looks confusing, it's because it is confusing. Like, there's different modes for choosing a gummy block, and then for placing gummy block. You have to switch between them if you want to switch blocks. You can only be on one grid, and you have to press the bumper buttons to go up and down the grids, and yeah, it's confusing as hell.
Yeah.
But in this game, the gummy pieces are kind of simple. There's no real limit besides how much pieces you can place in it with the computer we have. But later on, the gummy ships get more complicated, and each block adds a special stat, which will basically modify other stats. So some stats increases while other stats decreases. Not here. Basically, just add more guns so you can shoot more. Add more engines so you can fly faster. Add more wings so you can move left and right more faster. Add more blocks so you can take more damage. So those are the bullets. They'll fire regular bullets. These are lasers. They'll fire lasers, which are actually pretty neat, but consumes power. And these are the wings that basically just allows you to turn left and right faster. And again, okay. I skipped out a lot of it because it's wonky, and I did kind of still want to show off how it looks like, and I hope you enjoy the beautiful ice box that I'm making. And I decided to cover the ugly back on it as well. And these blocks with the purple outline are stronger blocks, so they reduce the damage we take a bit, or really increase the amount of health this has by a lot more. Anyway, here's our gummy ship. It doesn't look too great, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And these are the stats. It's not really all important, but we do have the warp stats that allows us to warp to any worlds that we have visited before. Beforehand, if we wanted to visit a world, we would have to go through it, the entire gummy ship minigame, every time we wanted to visit it. So if I visit one world and want to go to Traverse Town, I have to play the minigame over and over again. For each time I want to go back and forth. Now we can use Warp there and skip it entirely. So this will be a huge convenience. And now we can go ahead and show it off. But not before we get into something else. The tournament in the Colosseum, which is the Hercules world.
Oh.
Yeah, in this game, the Hercules world is all basically just tournaments where you fight a group of heartless enemies. And later on, Final Fantasy characters as boss fights.
Oh.
Which we got into in the first visit, where we fought Cloud, but he's not at his full strength at this point. And we go to enter the Fill Cup. And I'm going to just go ahead and speed up the whole thing, because it's not that interesting, and play some music that's not from the series at all. There's something else I had in my library at the time.
Fair enough.
Because this stuff kind of takes forever. I do kind of feel like it's a bit unfitting music, but oh well. It's kind of nice, I guess.
Well, it's better than nothing, to be fair.
Yeah. Ooh. Or just hearing the sped up music audio or whatever.
Yeah.
I have been playing a lot of Persona 4 Gold and enjoying it, though.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been released in PC, and I've been spending more time playing that than working on these videos. Because I'm so professional when it comes to video making. Yeah.
So I just realized I heard this song before somewhere on Twitter.
Yeah. It's a pretty famous series, actually, Persona.
I know, but this song in particular.
Yeah. Anyway, so these hats are actually from the boss we fought before, but just in different color. I think it's called red armor. And yeah, in the tournament we'll be fighting all the arms and legs of it. That's some of the correct, whatever they're called.
Once again, Donald and Goofy being really useful in the courtier.
Yes. Well, it's because the AI is not so good in this game, so there's not really much you can do about it.
Just to check, this is not the original game, right? This is like a port or something.
It's kind of like the final mix, and it's sort of the port of a new game, but I think it's basically like the same as it was in the original.
Oh,
This is a final mix version, which may have had a little bit more extra content, like extra bosses and such. But for the most part, it's not a remastered version or anything. So I think it's almost exactly like the game, as the original game at least.
We're the champs!
And for our efforts
I think he didn't say champions, otherwise we'll get a copyright strike.
Yeah, we get the power of the stars. Allows you to use gravity. It's a spell that can crush enemies, but otherwise it's not too extremely useful. It is important for puzzles later on, but other than that, nothing too special.
Ooh.
Now, once we complete a tournament with the free duo, we can actually attempt it again with only Sora.
Oh.
And we can actually get a different reward for doing so. Unfortunately, at this point, I wasn't too strong enough to do it. Well, again, I probably could have, but I had bad luck.
Oh.
I'll attempt this later on. It's basically the same tournament again, so it's nothing too worthwhile to show.
What?
Yeah, this is the Gummy Ship minigame.
Oh,
And this is the Gummy Ship space, at least in the first version of the game. Again, the Gummy Ship minigames changes from game to game. This one is kind of this low rail-on shooter. And now you get to see the laser in action. It auto-locks on anything you can see, mostly prioritizing on enemies. You can also fire on hazards and meteors. It's very useful, though it does use power, so if you spam it too much, you won't have anything left. You can only recover it by
roll.
That's not possible in this game. I think it's possible in the later ones. Though in the later ones, they do change the minigames drastically. Like the second one, it's a more action-packed, high-intense rail-on shooter. And the third one, they have a sort of mesh between that, but then also have like an open world thing where you explore the entire space. It actually looks like a proper space, which is pretty cool. But that's not until a lot later. Also enjoy all of these enemies.
Yeah.
These
This is like Galaga levels of enemy spam.
Yeah, this is probably like the most amount of enemies we've seen so far, so that's gonna... I don't remember how many enemies there are in the later ones, but if it's gonna be anything like that, it's gonna be crazy.
Jeez, yeah.
But we'll be getting enough money to buy better parts at that point later, though. We won't be needing money for much other than Gummy Ship parts, honestly. We can get enough items from enemy drops. And generally I'm pretty good at about conserving items in general, since all we really need is just Cure and other spells to help you reduce the damage you take. And we now have to actually enter the proper second ring of the Gummy Ship space, so we get different music, which is just the same as the one before, but more high tempo. We're almost at Agrabah though, so we just have to go for a little bit more. And there it is! Agrabah,
Nice.
which is entirely just a city and a giant lion statue on the bottom.
And the keyhole?
The Heartless are searching for it now. I'm certain we'll find it soon enough. So that just leaves...
Jafar, I've looked everywhere for Jasmine. She's disappeared like magic.
The girl is more trouble than she's worth.
You said you had things under control.
Agrabah is full of holes for rats to hide in. But why worry about Princess Jasmine? With her, or without
Jasmine.
her, Surely this world will be ours when we find the keyhole.
We need all 7 princesses of heart to open the final door. Any fewer is useless.
Well, if the princess is that
PlayStation 1
important,
facial animations versus PlayStation 2 facial animations.
find Jasmine and bring her to me at once.
Don't steep yourself in darkness too long. The heartless consume the careless.
Your concern is touching, but hardly necessary.
Gee, I would have been caught if people would have looked behind them from time to time. Anyway,
Yeah.
so here we are in Africa, and we're already in combat.
Well, bloody hell.
Yeah, Agrabah is a pretty claustrophobic place. The spawns for enemies are pretty ridiculously tight. Also, you can see that Donald actually used the arrow spell on us, so we actually are protected, and our damage we take are incredibly reduced.
Ah.
Like, the damage gets reduced by a ridiculous ton. We barely take any damage at all from attacks. We took a pretty decent chunk. So it's a very good spell for boss fight and such, but it takes like 2 points of mana. We will currently only have 3 mana. So it's a pretty pricey spell to cast, but definitely worth it, especially for boss fights. And with that out of the way, we can get a Mega Potion from this chest. I don't know what Donald's doing right there, attempt to fly or whatever.
Well, I mean, he is a duck.
Yes.
Almost a bird.
In here is a Mega Ether, mana restoring items. The pots contain various money, which allows us to get some good use for money, of course. We can't get over there until we get a certain ability, and we got some more enemies. And I cut it there because I actually died during this fight. Because the sword-wielding enemies there are the cleverly named bandits. And they're like soldiers we've seen before, but with swords. And they're as nasty as the ones before because they keep launching themselves with attacks all over the place and attack you when you least suspect it. So
Oh.
they can be pretty nasty when there's a lot of them. Because they basically come out of nowhere where you can't see them and attack you. Which needless to say is pretty nasty, especially since I'm playing on Proud mode, which increases the damage they deal to me. So it's a good idea to use arrow to protect yourself if you're going to go for the hard route.
Come on! Come on!
And these enemies are pot spiders. They are spiders in pots, because that's clever.
You don't say.
They're not really that too threatening, but they can just keep in mind, be careful whenever there are pots around, since that could be them.
Yeah, quite like that as an idea.
Yeah, we'll be seeing quite a different enemies that are hiding themselves in disguise. You see that launching attack it did? That is something that killed me the last time I tried to attempt this area.
Oh.
Yeah. Since they can do that almost anywhere when you're not looking at them, that can be a pretty nasty surprise, and you have no way to defend yourself from that.
There. Hello?
Also, Jasmine, the best disguiser in the world.
Yes. Because no one's gonna recognize her in her bright blue/cyan dress.
Yes, in like sandstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in a world where everything is almost jello entirely.
Pretty much.
I love how she responded by, "Who helped you?" Like, "Oh, he helped me escape."
Letter.
I mean,
Where might I find this street rat? Jasmine, allow me to find you more suitable company, my dear princess.
Out of curiosity, did he keep pronouncing it as
These
Jasmine
rats
in the
will
film as well?
do
I have no idea. I don't remember the movie, and even if it did, it was the Swedish version with a Swedish vocalization.
Oh yeah, fair point.
Yeah,
who holds the key.
Honestly, I wouldn't know because I've not even seen Aladdin.
I've
I
seen
mean, I
Aladdin.
think
I've seen Aladdin, but it's been a long while. I was pretty young when I watched it.
I think I caught the end of it on TV, like sort of back when, you know, there wasn't like streaming services, and the only time you saw a movie on TV was when the BBC actually bothered to pay money to show off a film on any of their channels.
Yeah, I think I watched it during this channel back then. It wasn't complete shit. And yeah, because they would often like play various full-length movies at certain times.
Ah.
Anyway, so now we're basically left to figure out where we need to go on our own. And in Nagarabadi apparently there are giant keyblade sized keyholes around. Because that's a totally normal thing you have.
Yes.
And the treasure chest that up there was a capping set that allows us to recover HP and MP outside, so of course it dropped into the bottom. And yeah, you can see now the stun ability basically has a pretty neat reach. It only activates on the ground, and it only activates when it's on the end of the combo, so it is kind of limited in that regard. Fortunately, our combo is only free, so we don't have too much to worry about. Most of these areas are blocked to us because we have to activate more of those keyhole things. But right now, we're basically just trying... It's kind of the thing about this game, you basically just end up figuring out for yourself where you need to go, because the game can't be bothered to tell you. What we need to do is go to Aladdin's house and help out this carpet here. And now we know we need to go to the desert. That's a gummy piece, it's literally just a giant hand in the form of a scissor. And as a Mega Elixir, it's a full heal and full mana recovery for the whole entire party, which is very neat.
Oh, neat.
And yeah, I think I said so Donald will use recovery or support skill, so we'll keep spamming aura every time. And since it kind of disappears whenever you leave a sort of cutscene, we'll repeatedly spam it every time. Anyway, so to proceed, we take this carpet to the next area. And there goes Abu. So anyway, you have to fight more bandits, because of course, they will emerge from the sand, you might have noticed, so that's wonderful.
Boy.
Yeah, so they'll keep spawning in a couple of them for a moment. Fortunately, Donald has been so gracefully put us aura, so we won't have to suffer too much from that, and it'll do drop a bit of HP orb, so we can recover any damage they would have to put up. And yes, you notice that they are down for the count yet again.
Great. Yes, really welcome contribution to the scene.
Well, I think it's probably because that the difficulty is much higher than the original game intended.
Oh.
I think that this final mixed edition which added the difficulties, was made like in the same year. And so they didn't have really time to test how well the AI would handle the difficult enemies.
Ah.
So it might just be because the AI was never intended to fight enemies this strong at all. Meanwhile, later games has AIs that were supposed to intend to take on enemies so strong.
Ah.
So that might be why the AI party members are struggling at the moment. But yeah, it's not going to help us in the fact that they are going to die every 5 seconds, literally.
Gosh, not again! Genie, get rid of these guys!
Wish number one coming right up.
I see.
Just to
Thanks, Sora.
check, a lot of your commentary videos, are they usually filled with a lot of silence as well?
Yeah, mostly, because if I'm doing it solo, I figure, and I don't have anything special to say, I figure just be quiet about it.
I found that
I'm not
magic
fine
mark.
with you talking if you think you have something interesting to ask, or whatever.
Well, I don't really have a lot to say. I was just kind of asking, just like, is this normal?
Yeah, more or less.
The one and only Genie of the Lamp! Rub-a-dub-dub the lamp and have your dearest wishes granted. Today's winner is Aladdin!
Gotta say, for a game released in 2002, the animation is pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they're just showing off everything with how everything that's going on here.
3 wishes!
Yeah.
Oh, 1 wish, a 2 wish, a 3 wish. Then I make like a banana and split. Our lucky winner made his first wish.
And let me tell you what a doozy that wish was.
So he has 2 left. So, Master, what'll you have for wish number 2?
How about making me a fabulously wealthy prince?
Whoa! Money, royalty, fame! Why didn't I think of that?
You might also notice that in the background there's the save point circling
Oh
around.
yes.
Just say the word and I'll deliver it in 30 minutes or less, or your meal.
Yeah, the rest is literally just a empty void of sand,
No thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll put that on.
which they'll use for the cutscenes where they travel around the carpet and everything.
Oh, why a prince?
You see, there's this girl in Agrabah named Jasmine. But she's a princess. And she could never fall for a guy like me.
Jasmine?
Oh, that's right. She's in trouble, Aladdin.
What? Well, come on, let's get going.
I can't help but feel it's really awkward that Sora is always the person with the low poly model all the time.
I just love that in that cutscene, all the non-human characters are proper modes and all the human characters just had texture swapping.
Yeah, but I'm guessing it because how their mouths are moving, it would probably be harder to make a low poly version of that.
Possibly.
Fresh air.
I mean, with mouths, all you need is the texture. With Donald and Goofy, you actually have to move the mouth with proper animation.
Comes with a job. Phenomenal cosmic powers, itty-bitty living space. It's always 3 wishes, then back to my portable prison. I'm lucky to see the light of day every century or 2.
This dub is terrible. This genie does
Say,
not sound like
Genie.
Will Smith.
What if I use my last wish to free you from the lamp? What do you think?
You do that?
Genie, it's a promise. After we help Jasmine.
And it just fades into the sky.
Yep.
Oh.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
see you later in the next part.